your first start was one, it was dominant. I was watching that start. And your first opening day start against the reigning champions in Houston, you absolutely dominated. But, like, how cool was that? Your first opening day start, like, walk me through that day for you, the nerves that were there maybe. Like, how awesome was it getting your first opening day start?
Yeah, I think the most nerves I had were even just a couple of days leading up to it. Like when we're traveling there and I'm sitting on the plane and I'm really just, you know, it's kind of the first thing my mind went to was to think about it. But the day of, I felt pretty calm. And it was just one of those things where I was like, in my mind, it's like, what's the worst thing that can happen is I go out and I can't throw strikes and, the results are bad, but I still get to live to fight another day. So I
Yeah.
kind of got in like, surprisingly, I got in a pretty positive mindset from there. Like, it's kind of easy for me to like reflect on different things and be like, there's people that are going through a lot harder things and a lot
Yeah.
more stressful and challenging things, think to where police officers putting their lives on the line. It's
Right.
like, that's actually truly hard. This is obviously very hard too, because there's such a disciplined, powerful team, like this is no walk in the park, but in terms of, I'm going to get to leave the game with, still being alive, hopefully. And, I just was thinking positive about it. And I felt pretty calm. And, I remember even just sitting there talking to Yaz and saying, I'm like a little nervous right now, but I feel, mostly really calm. So that was the biggest thing. And I was like locked in from the start with my
Yeah.
pregame pen. And that's usually a problem because your best games are usually when you can't throw anything for a strike in your pen and then
Right.
you turn on the game. So for my pen, I was like locked in. And I took it into the game and honestly, it started off kind of poorly because Pena hit that single off my slider, which is my best pitch. I'm like, oh, here we go again, but it ended up working out well.
Yeah, I'd say so. What I think 10 punches, no walks, just a dominant start, first of the year. So I have to ask. I mean, from the fan perspective, there's a lot of talk this year about a pitch clock. That was your first regular season start with it. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was pretty apprehensive about it when I first learned that they were doing it. But so far I've liked it. I think it keeps the game flowing really nicely. Um, and I think it just keeps action going more consistently, which is great. So I do think it's probably more of an advantage for pitchers than hitters, but I don't know if it's really even necessarily a big advantage for us. It's all just something that we all have to be aware of.
Yeah.
So I think it's making the product flow better, which is obviously good for the game in general. So it's definitely getting my approval so far.
Does it feel fast for you, or when you're in the moment, it doesn't? You don't really notice it.
No, I feel like I had almost too much time. Like I was going out and warming up, and I was just sitting there for like 15 seconds. Well, I think it was also whatever the national televised game, so I think there was a little bit more time in between innings. But yeah, for me, I didn't ever really feel like there was a point where I was under some sort of time pressure.
Yeah. So, well, that's great to hear. You never know, like, watching it. I love the feel of it. I love watching it, and it feels like the game it doesn't feel fast. It just feels like there's a lot of action in lesser time. So I've been a big
Yeah.
fan. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.